All right, guys, here's our last section of Chapter 2. We're going to do 2.5. Probably 3 videos for this section. We're going to talk about survey problems and how we can actually use the ideas of sets and Venn diagrams to help us answer survey questions. So we've talked about the words that are kind of interchangeable: and, an intersection, or, and union, complement, and the word not. We might also see the word but, that also means and, an intersection. Okay? And so how can we actually apply these to do problems? Well, do you remember the blood and the donate breakfast problem that we had in a previous section, where set A is the set of all students that were willing to donate blood, set B was a set of students willing to serve breakfast, and some of them were willing to do both? Well, what they've done is they've put, in this example, all the different numbers in a Venn diagram. Students that were willing to donate blood, students that were willing to serve breakfast, and the overlap that were willing to do both, and some students that weren't willing to do either. And then we're going to use this to help us answer questions about the survey. So it says here in example number 1, how many students were willing to donate blood? Well, remember, the students that were willing to donate blood were all the people that were in set A. So if I look at this picture, I saw that 370 and 120 were willing to donate blood. 370 plus 120 would be a total of 490 students willing to donate blood. Not just the 370, because 120 were also willing to donate blood. Now, they were willing to do both, but they were willing to donate blood. So don't forget about that group. Part B says how many are willing to help serve free breakfast to blood donors. So breakfast was this set, and so how many students are in this set B? Well, again, 120 and 220 would be a total of 340, making sure you include everybody in that bubble because they were willing to serve breakfast. Now, part C says how many students were willing to donate blood and serve breakfast. Remember, the and is another word we can use for intersection. So what would be the intersection of these two sets? Well, it's that 120 in the middle. They were willing to do both. Part D says how many students are willing to donate blood or serve breakfast. Now, you got to be careful here. 370 were willing to just donate blood. 220 were willing to just serve breakfast. But these guys in the middle were at least willing to donate blood or serve breakfast. They actually were able to do both. And so we need to make sure that we include all 3 of those pieces, because all of those sections were either people that were willing to donate blood or serve breakfast, not just the outside ones. We also have to include that 120 for a total of 710 students willing to donate blood or serve breakfast. Some of them just willing to do both. Part E, how many are willing to donate blood, which was set A, but not serve breakfast? I want to know how many were willing to donate blood, but for some reason could not serve breakfast. Isn't that the 370 on the outside? All right. How many students were willing to serve breakfast, but not donate blood? Well, that would be my 220 on the outside there. All right, G, how many weren't willing to do either? We don't want to serve breakfast, donate blood. That's the people on the outside, this 290. And how many students were surveyed? Ooh, if I want to know how many students were surveyed, what would I have to do? Well, I have 290 not willing to do either. I have 120 willing to do both. I have 370 willing to just donate blood, and I have 220 willing to just serve breakfast. If I add all of those up, I have a total of 1,000 students. So I know that we surveyed 1,000 students in this survey. Do you notice that I kind of wrote all of my work so I know exactly where I got that number from? That way, if you make a silly mistake, I at least know where your numbers are coming from, and I can give you some partial credit there. Okay? All right. Let me know if you need anything.